Hello and welcome. My name is Bethany and today we're going to build some ships in Dungeondraft. Welcome back to part 2 of 2. In the first half of this, we built a harbor in Dungeondraft. These ships are going to serve as the second part of that to complete the overall look. If you missed the first one, you should definitely check it out. So in the first video, I talked about how this is the first time I've ever used Dungeondraft outside of just kind of like playing around with it to get the mechanics down. I'm still in version 0.9.3.1, which is the juvenile worm version. I've had a couple problems with this program so far, but I don't know if it's the program or if it's my computer. The specs for this aren't very high, but my computer is also not super great quality, so I'm not sure if it's me or them. But I've been having a problem where it crashes a lot, but I still managed to get through it. It took a little bit of time for me to get the tabs down, just because I used 2 other building softwares, and the mechanics of those are different from Dungeondraft, so it took a little while to get used to the way that this one is laid out. I do love the brush tools in this program. I love the cave and the water and how you can add different terrain pieces and just overall how seamless it can be and how great it looks together. I also really love that the water moves. Now, for the harbor map, I did have a little bit of a problem trying to distinguish the layers, and that's kind of where some of my crashes came from, was switching in between them. But once I figured it out, it was super easy. Overall though, I do really love this program, and I can't wait to see how it updates and the more things that it's gonna get. I know that they release new artwork for this program all the time, and I love all of the assets. We're still going to be using 2-minute tabletop for this because they have a full ship building set, but we're also going to integrate some of the pre-loaded assets that come with Dungeondraft. If you're interested in getting Dungeondraft for yourself, it is currently only $20 when this video is being made. I will link Dungeondraft and 2-minute tabletop in the description below. Now, I love in-water combat. I think it's such a twist to throw at your players. Normally, they're gonna be fighting on land. Even if it's in like rough terrain or difficult terrain, they still are used to fighting on solid ground. But similarly to putting them in the air, putting them in water gives you 3D movement. So not only are they moving forward, backward, side to side, but they can also go above or below their opponents. And this adds quite a bit of freedom to their availability, as well as giving them a plethora of new moves that they can try out. It does reduce their ability to use certain weapons, and if they choose to do that still, they probably gain a disadvantage. But overall, I think that underwater combat is a lot of fun. Combat aboard ships is just as fun. However, it is a confined space that is not actually confined. You still only have a certain amount of space that they can move around in because they're on a ship deck or underneath a ship, or maybe they're in a crow's nest, but they only have a limited amount of space. It's different from being in a building because in that instance, if they run away or they escape, they can leave that space. But to leave a ship, you have to go into the water. That's why I think it's really important when you're building a ship to focus on the building components and to make sure everything flows properly. You want to be sure that the layout is appropriate to a ship, that it has entrances and exits the way that it's supposed to have, like portholes, the mast, things like that. But you also want to make sure that the movement layout is smooth. You want to make sure that they have enough space to move where they're supposed to be able to move, but also keep in mind that it is a confined space. It's also important to note that ships generally have a living space. Unless it's like a small little trading ship, there's always usually a hold of some kind. This, and especially on larger ships, opens up space for them to find treasure. Now that sounds a little piratey, but you have to think about also if somebody is living on a ship, or if it's a merchant ship, or a trading ship, or even if it's just a little thing to get them up and down the river, there's usually a place where things are kept. And you can use that to your advantage. Put something in there that they didn't expect to find. Maybe it's a worldly possession that was lost. Maybe it's a clue to something larger. Maybe it's a secret hold or a secret wall, a secret room, someplace where they have to search for it because they know it's gonna be there somewhere. Now that might be considered metagaming a little bit, but at the same time, it's also common knowledge that most ships have a location where treasure or important things are kept. It's up to you to determine how big or small that location is, but your players are definitely going to look for it. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this portion of the build. I spent a really long time in an airship build, and I think this is going to be pretty similar. I'm going to try not to overdo it. We'll see kind of how it goes. definitely had some challenges. But I do love this program, glitches and all. Again, not sure if it's the program or if it's my system or a combination of both, but this program is still pretty new, and I'm not gonna fault it for things that maybe just haven't been fixed yet. If you'd like to see more videos in Dungeondraft, let me know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching!